Another contractor asked me one time how my firm operates, about our decision-making paradigms. And I explained that building's always secondary. You first got to understand your client and know their performance objectives and their exit strategies. You always begin with the end in mind, specifically with the investors of that building. You talk about the investment from both sides of the balance sheet, and you figure out how this building is going to make more money for the tenants and the investors. And that's a good conversation to have, and most often a fun one, because you get to share life experiences and learn more about your client's business. But for the purposes of this video, I'll discuss more about exit strategies. I'll give you a good case in point. Let's say you own a Pizza Hut, and you know that Pizza Hut, like all chain restaurants, is big on brand identity. And brand identity is one part unique and one part consistency. The dining experience must be unique to your industry, but consistently the same experience. And that brand identity extends to the buildings as well. You know, a Pizza Hut in Raleigh is going to look the same as one in Atlanta. And they design it that way so that you can recognize a Pizza Hut from a long distance. And that memory recognition evokes a favorable response in your mind that predisposes you to dining there with your family rather than the other restaurant next door. Now let's say you want to move your Pizza Hut to a new location. Well, that means selling the red roof building, which is tough because there's a limited market for customers in and outside your industry that want to look like Pizza Hut. You want to make a profit and you want to sell your building quickly. But in order to sell the property, you've got to discount it. And this may not have been your original exit strategy. So recall that Stephen Covey mantra again. Begin with the end in mind. Every building you own will at some point in the future have a new owner, a new tenant. How can you build it for the next tenant? For the Pizza Hut, the one-story building with a red roof, you look at other industries that occupy buildings with similar footprints, and you engineer the building to be easily modified to businesses that sell something else other than pizza. And if you were to ask me what I'd do, I'd look at auto parts companies like AutoZone. I'd look at the size of community bank buildings. I'd look at urgent care facilities. Begin with the end in mind. Who is your second generation tenant? And it's like this. When you build a bridge, you always look across the river to see where the bridge will end and the road begins. That bridge is of no use with a U-turn at the end. You may say something like, well, wow, that's an awful lot of wisdom coming from someone with no gray hair. Well, I grew up in the family business. I've been at it a long time. My family's been at it even longer. 2 world wars and a bunch of recessions will teach you how to protect your assets. Assets that look forward beyond your generation and into the next.